What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renfill, the bearded dwarven princess to some, and today we're going to be looking at the idea of being Pantheon Patient. I've heard this term thrown around within the Pantheon Rise of the Fallen community. It's sort of this, I think it's kind of this idea set that we should be happily waiting for this game to come out, and in the meantime, we should be pining for it and comparing it to all these other games that we've played in the past and hoping that it's going to do all of these things while not really looking at the reality that there's still no release date and they don't have any actual obligation to release anything. Pledges versus pre-orders, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be covering that in a different video. And so while I'm definitely in the camp of thinking that they have a good chance of releasing this product, and I don't think that the team is a bad team. I've talked about this in some of my recent videos. I think that they're on the right track. I think they're doing all the right things, and I think there is a very good chance that this game is going to release, especially after the hiring of Steve Clover. That brought a lot of, from my perspective, it solidified their chances in my mind. Um, I do want to investigate and sort of talk about this idea that we should be Pantheon Patient because I don't think you should be. I don't think that you should be settling for a game that's going to take another 3, 4, 5 years. Who knows? They refuse to publish any sorts of release dates. I think that instead of being Pantheon Patient, you should be willing to go out there and play all of these other amazing games that are out there that you can play right now, many of them free, with your friends while you're waiting. And we're going to talk about that today. I also went over to the forums recently and was looking at this thread, which is a little bit older. So this comment here, and there's going to be a link to this thread in the description text below, but there's from November of 2021, which is a while ago. This guy talks about how I gave a Knight's Pledge years ago, definitely lost interest. I don't expect alpha anytime soon, probably for another few years the way it's going. Um, that was all the way back in November of 2021, right? And we just got confirmation the other day that alpha is not happening in 2023. And if you go to the wiki, let me open this up real quick. Brad McQuaid stated at PAX East in 2018 that Pantheon would be in alpha by the end of the year, but then he walked his statements back in August of 2018. And again, that's a wiki. I'm not clicking through the links. You can crucify me if you want for having, going to the wiki to look something up, but that's a quick thing for me to look at. So all the way back in 2018, you have alpha being touted as coming by the end of the year. Didn't happen in 18, didn't happen in 19, didn't happen in 20, didn't happen in 2021, didn't happen in 2022. So the idea that you have people who have been waiting for alpha, who bought an alpha package all the way back in like 2015, and they still don't have it all these years later, that's a very sad state of affairs, and it sucks to be someone who's bought into a product and you're not getting something. There's also this other comments through here. To be frank, this person says, I'm not more patient than before. I've lost interest by now to the extreme time scale that got added to the project. I get why, but I can't say I like it. That and the more I learn about the game and its direction, the less sure I am that it's actually going to be the game I was expecting when I pledged many, many years ago. This is another key component of a game that has gone through multiple refactors. It has changed significantly since the original vision that was published on the Kickstarter, which I myself was involved with, and then the multiple refactors that have happened since then, with the game continually changing its vision and refactoring and going on, which is why I've come to the point where I've told people that even though I am interested in what the game is aiming to achieve, which is providing a classic sort of old school niche and I am going to use the word niche, ladies and gentlemen. You can be offended by that if you want, but it's going to be providing an old school sort of corner of the MMORPG market for the people who like the old school games like EverQuest and Vanguard and so on and so forth. The vision has changed so much since 2014, and it's going to continue to change because it's still in a pre-alpha state. And as much as everyone likes to say, well, the classes are set and the design is set and everything else, I don't agree with that. I can't agree with that because I know how game development works. And as much as something looks good on paper, until you actually program it into the game and then test it through the iterative process, you cannot, no matter who you are, no matter how much experience you have in the industry, you cannot know if that thing that you've designed on paper is going to work in the actual game the way you thought it would work on paper. They're still in pre-alpha. Until these things get put into the alpha and then are run through the iterative process to test these features and these classes and these abilities and the things they've laid out on paper, you can't know that those things are actually going to come to fruition. Now, there are a lot of things that we can look forward to this game, and I'm going to talk about those now. But before we get to that point, this is the point where I'm going to do my call to action and say, if you like this type of content and you want to hear more about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, World of Warcraft Classic, EverQuest 1, EverQuest 2, Vanguard, Saga of Heroes, all these other games that we play together and we love and enjoy, then like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you get updates like this in the future. And don't forget, you can always drop a super thanks on this video to support my channel and me directly as a content creator. And you can also join as a member of the Adventurers Guild down there for $2.99 a month. We stream every single day and every single night, Central Time. So come check out a live stream here on YouTube at your leisure. And I am a game developer, so if you want to check out what I'm working on with my wife and my brother, as long as other people on the project like Nathan Napalm and Becca, who is Bounty Code and Sparrow's daughter, doing artwork and stuff, check out our World, The Weave and the Void, which is a 5th edition tabletop setting, a point-and-click adventure game, and a book series, all being done over at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Wandering Hermits. More information over there. Check it all out. But let's get back to this idea that we should be Pantheon Patient. If you scroll through this thread, and this is one thread out of many that are on their forums about people who are being upset about the timelines and how long it's taking. Some people say that I feel like I have the same level of patience as when I pledged. Other people say, with the exception of a few people, he says, I don't recognize anyone from when I came here 7 years ago. That's crazy. I don't even consider myself a gamer, but what I've seen over many years is people coming then going. I suppose it's because it's 2021 and there are so many other things to be doing. Every now and again, I look at the forums, but despite COVID, I am active in travel much more than the average person, and that's my take. I, too, am losing interest in Pantheon. I have concerns about the direction it is going. At one point, I would have said I was very excited, but I don't feel that magic excitement anymore. I will say that I have met some very wonderful people over the years, and that the older MMORPG community is truly the best. I personally believe that. Another person says, I would say that I am not becoming more patient. On the contrary, I'm losing interest, and I don't like the direction I think King's going when I look at the updates. Now, I could be accused in this point of cherry picking data because I'm just looking at one thread where you have people criticizing. We have a lot of other people who continue to be very excited about the game. We have Bazrum, we have Nathan, we have the entire Pantheon Plus crew. You know, Sparrow is also making videos on her channel. We have people who are very excited and are very much like Bounty Code, very much on board with the direction that Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is headed. But you have to understand that the version of the game that's being promoted today is not the game that many people backed all the way back in the vision from 2014 and 2015. So if someone bought a pledge package in 2015, the game that exists today is not the same game that they purchased all the way back then, that they thought they were going to be getting when they pledged to the game all those years ago. Which brings up a very important part of the iterative process of a game. It has taken so long, going from 2015 to 2022, that's 7 years, and in those 7 years, the game has been in pre-alpha and has gone through multiple reiterations. Okay, they've done multiple refactors and multiple iterations of the game, continually changing the vision to where it is now. To suggest that that won't happen again, in my mind, based on what I know of game development and what the evidence suggests so far, believing that the vision won't change again and that there won't be additional changes to the things that people think are set in stone now, that's a little bit of a, I don't think that's a healthy mindset because things will change through the iterative process. Obviously, they do have a vision and they're shooting for that vision, but that doesn't mean that things won't change. So the idea of being Pantheon patient is something that for me, I look at and say, why? Why waste your time being patient for something that's going to continue to change over and over and over until it's finally launched? Anticipate it, yes. Be excited that it's in development, yes. If you want to be in pre-alpha and so on and so forth and help them in development, that's awesome. But here's the thing I see a lot of people talking about. Oh, one of the reasons I'm Pantheon Patient because there's nothing for me to play. I don't like any of the games that there's nothing that captures the old school feel that Pantheon's going to recapture. I can't find anything that I'm going to enjoy as much as Pantheon. There's nothing out there that's going to be able to do the, and I think that is incorrect. There are a lot of good games out there, and I think our multi-stream team is proving that. If you're not following along with our multi-stream team, it's myself, Nathan Napalm, Bounty Code, Sparrow, Maduros, Kel the Reaver, Vendini, a bunch of other people who are playing lots of different old school games like Project 1999 on the Green server. We're playing the EverQuest TLP server. We're playing World of Warcraft Classic. We're playing the Vanguard Saga of Heroes emulator. All of these games, while not new and while not modern, absolutely provide all of the community and social and old school aspects of games that many people who are waiting for Pantheon claim that they want and that they enjoy. If that's the case, then why aren't you doing these games? Why aren't you playing these games? Instead, you're being Pantheon patient and waiting for something that is still many, many years away when you could be playing all of these other amazing games that exist. You could also be trying new games like New World, which, for better or for worse, did provide a unique experience and was something that I enjoyed for a short amount of time. There were reasons that I ended up walking away from it, but it had nothing to do with the community. Um, but especially looking at a game like World of Warcraft Classic, which we're heavily into right now, working into Wrath of the Lich King, that game provides all of the things that people who are waiting for Pantheon and say that they want from Pantheon, it provides all of those things. It provides group-based gameplay, it provides social interaction, it provides challenging gameplay, it provides many of those things. Vanguard Saga of Heroes emulator, it's not finished in its alpha state as it is right now. It provides many of the same things that Pantheon is promoting. It's free to play. You don't have to pay a subscription. If you don't want to support Blizzard because whatever, you don't have to. You could go play that. And that's something that we're doing as a multi-stream team. And I would urge people to stop being so focused on a game that is going to eventually come out, but will definitely change more before it does come out, and instead focus on what's here and now. You have community members who you can play with today, right now. You have people who would love to play with you in all of these different games. So why don't you go out there and be social, be friendly, and be a community game player? Go out there and play an MMORPG the way it was meant to be played with other people, rather than just waiting around and being Pantheon patient, waiting for something that is still years away. So I've said all that, and once again, I need to reiterate. I think Pantheon has a very good thing going on. I think they're creating a very interesting game. I'm interested in it. I'm going to play the hell out of it when it launches. I'm not going to run my own guild. I plan on joining Nathan Napalm's guild and running with his crew. And I'm not intimately involved with this whole Pantheon patient aspect of it because I know how the iterative process works. I know how game development works because I do game development. And I've been on the inside working on an MMORPG for a long time. Things change no matter what the vision is because what's on paper doesn't translate necessarily to what's going to come out of testing. So knowing that and knowing how there's all these games that we're playing and more games coming out, we have like amazing co-op experiences coming out, like Baldur's Gate as an example. More recently, Myth Force from the Beamdog team, who put together all of the enhanced editions of like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, and all those things. There are great co-op games out there that you could play right now with friends, many of them free to play, that could give you that social interaction and that sort of hardcore gameplay that you're looking for without needing to wait and pine over something that is still years away and will definitely change again before it actually comes out. Food for thought. Again, I'm not pooping on Pantheon. It's just a critique. Hope you enjoy. See you next time. Drop your comments down below.